How's it going? It's Charles Botensten. We are here on October 22nd, and we are going to be reading something from a book that I read every single day. It's called the Maxwell Daily Reader, and it's by John Maxwell. And John Maxwell has written so many books. I don't know if I have any over here. I probably read them and then gave it to someone. But he's written a bunch of books, some great books. And they all are on different subjects: leadership, feeling the fear, management, happiness, whatever. And this is a book of his best segments from the best segments from his book. So in other words, you have leadership. And then for that month, it's literally every single day is a different topic. So today, October 22nd, give today your attention. Tomorrow, October 23rd, being approachable. I highly recommend this. If there's any kind of reading that you could do, it's literally just a page every single day, just a page. Let's zoom in on that. And it's super easy. All you have to do, let's bring it back to me. All you have to do is spend 2 minutes. You read the page. You put a marker in there, and it comes with a little marker itself, little guy right here. So you just put that in your book and you read it and you get something out of it. And it's, instead of reading his books, you literally get the best segments in his opinion. So he'll say something up top and then he'll bring up something in the book, and then at the bottom it's an action step for today. So without further ado, I read this last year when I first got the book. I read this passage. And I was blown away. I read it, I reread it, I reread it, and I'm like, I'm never going to forget this. And like so many of the books that I read, I do forget it. And maybe that's why I read so much, is that when you read a lot, you're going to forget a lot of things. You're going to say, wow, thank you for reminding me because I read that in another book, but I forgot it over those few years and I didn't apply it, or I read it and I didn't need to apply it then, but it applies to my life now. And this is one of those, is that I said I would never forget, but I did. So without further ado, so I'm just going to read it. And ironically enough, I was actually going to do, all right, Charles, just read the freaking thing. So John Maxwell says, former First Lady Laura Bush said this: We get on board that train at birth, and we want to cross the continent because we have in mind that somewhere out there is a station. We pass by sleepy little towns, looking out the window of life's train, grain fields, silos, level grade crossings, buses full of people. So in other words, we get on this train of life, and we have a destination, and I'll keep on reading. It's really powerful. We pass by cities and factories, but we don't look at any of it because we want to get to the station. We have a destination. This station changes for us during life. To begin with, for most of us, it's turning 18, getting out of high school. Then the station is that first promotion, and then the station becomes getting the kids out of college, and then the station becomes retirement, and then, all too late, we recognize the truth. There really isn't a station. The joy is in the journey, and the journey is the joy, which is that is amazing. So I know it's really hard to look at me while I'm reading a book. Sooner or later, you realize there is no station, and the truth of life is the trip. Read a book, eat more ice cream, go barefoot more often, hug a child, go fishing, laugh more. The station will come soon enough, and as you go, find a way to make this world more beautiful. So whether you understood that or not, I'll break it down a little bit more, because I actually wrote that for today to talk about, the journey of life. And I I never agreed with it. Not that I didn't agree with it. I never understood what it meant. The journey of life. Like, what are you talking about? The journey of life. So I now understand it because I have a vision board right there. I have a private driver, a private plane, a nice watch, a yacht, a private island, and a really nice apartment in New York City with a roof deck and a jacuzzi on it. And that's cool, Charles. Like, what if you did get the private driver and the private plane and that nice watch and an island and whatever, and you're 78 or you're 95 and you have that? That's great. You now have that. Well, what about that time now, right now, today, in the now, in the moment, to when I have that? So that's what Laura Bush is talking about. Laura Bush is talking about this from a perspective of her age. You know, she's older. I'm assuming she's in her 80s. And maybe she had a destination. Maybe she had a train station. And the whole time, all she was thinking about was getting to that train station. And it's funny because I physically put myself in an actual train. Going to an actual train station, say going back to Long Island to say hi to my parents. And I usually read a book. And it's funny because the Long Island Railroad, you know, as much as people say things about it, it's really comfortable. And if you sit on the Long Island Railroad and you look outside the window, you kind of get this feeling that, I don't know, you just get lost in your mind extremely easily. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm late, I have a birthday party, or I'm going home for Thanksgiving, or I'm going home for another and you're just thinking about the destination, and you're just thinking about your vision board. And it's like, well, the train can't go any faster. You can't control that. So why don't you look out the window and enjoy it? And it's the opposite here, because you can control that. You do have the choice to get the vision board, to get what you want. But what Laura Bush is saying is enjoy the ride. And I never understood that. I'm like, enjoy the ride, the journey? I'm like, screw that, that's dumb. But it's true, you know, because to be honest, I've said in other videos, and I will say it again, is that I value my time more than anything else in my life, by far. It's not even a question. It's like, take my money, but don't take my time. And that time could be for anything. It could be, I don't know. I'm looking, you know what it is? It's like planning a trip. And you have the option, direct flight, 1 layover, two layovers, 3 layover, depending how far you go. And obviously, if you have a layover, usually it's going to be more expensive. Most of the time, it's more expensive. I mean, when you have a layover, it's less expensive because they're not flying direct. They're just saying, oh, this is cheap, and it'll take longer, but it's cheap to go here and it's cheap to go there, and then they hook you up. I value that 3 hours in an airport, say in Chicago or in Miami or in LA, wherever the layover is. I value that time more than anything else. I would rather sit on the plane and get there because I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste time, pick up my bags, waste time, get on another plane. I want to get there. And it's counterintuitive, I understand, to what I'm saying, which is enjoy the journey. But I would enjoy either way, you're going to enjoy the journey. You have the direct flight or you have the layover. You're going to be enjoying the layover. But you're also wasting time because you could be there. So in other words, if the layover is the way that you can look at how much you make per hour or what you're worth, is you take your salary or what you make per year, your total revenue, your income, whatever, and you divide it by 2,000. And that's how much, that's your hourly worth. So I break it down and I say, if I'm in Chicago for 3 hours and it's only $80 extra or $100 to get to my destination, I say, okay, what is 3 hours? Because it's, 3 hours divided by 100. And then I say, okay, it's $33. It's $33 per hour to sit in Chicago. That's how much I value my time. And I see myself worth more than that. I see myself worth more than $33. So I'm like, you know what? I'll pay that extra $100. I'll land in Texas or LA or wherever direct, and I'll pay that extra money. So with what Barbara said is enjoy the journey, value your time, value your now. And this is, to be honest, tomorrow I'm going to do a video on why I make the videos. And this is one of the reasons I make the video, because I churn up things that I haven't read in a while. And now I'm going to enjoy the journey of success, or of right now I'm training for a big bike tour. I don't always enjoy it because it sucks. And it's cold in New York, and it's windy right near the bridge, and it's pushing against you, and you feel like you're not even moving, and you're trying to go as hard as you can, and you have someone that you're training with who's way far ahead of you, and I'm a competitive guy, and it's hard in that moment to enjoy it. But I'm also in New York City, and you look at it regardless of where you are. It's like, oh, I'm in Miami, Chicago, London, Paris, Tokyo, Brazil, Belize, Colombia, Bogota, wherever. Just say, you know what? You're only here for a certain amount of time. You got to take advantage of it. And I know I got a little off topic, and I know this wasn't as high energetic. It's because you want to look at your time. And the reason I bring this up is because I see it all the time on the subway. These people get on the subway and they sit on a 45-minute commute, and they get to work, and then they go to lunch, and then I see them again. Maybe not the same people, but they're all pretty much the same. They go to lunch, they go with a colleague, and they bitch about work. And they usually bring up the same thing, which is either a colleague or a boss or a project, and it's a monotonous conversation. And I understand I'm totally judging right now, and I'm making a big, broad influence. But as Tony Robbins said, you got to live with passion. You got to have vigor in you. And it's never too late. That's another video I'm going to do. It's never too late. I always thought you hit an age, and it's funny too, because I always used to say I'm too young. And then people say they're too old, or I don't have enough time, or I'm not experienced. And it's like, dude, we're not here for that long. You got to go out there. So listen, the book is called The Maxwell Daily Reader. We'll zoom it right on my face so it's nice and zoomed in. Maxwell Daily Reader by John Maxwell. Where is it? Right there. And I highly recommend that you get it. There you go. I love this camera. This camera is beautiful. I spent really not that much money on it comparatively compared to wow, I can't even talk. And I got a lot of videos to shoot too for my clients. But anyway, the book is called The Maxwell Daily Reader. I highly recommend you pick it up. Each page, it's only one page you read a day. That's it. If you do anything for your life, if you do anything this year, it's to pick up the book and to do that. So anyway, highly recommend you buy that. But you also, as Barbara Bush says, enjoy the journey, because if you have all those things, if you have the success or the body that you want or the relationship you want or the money, whatever, the fame, the wealth, the private plane, the island, if you're Richard Branson, I just read his book, incredible book. And it's about enjoying the journey and having fun. And I know that's cliche, but it's true, because if you have that and you're too old to remember enjoying the journey, then it was a waste of a life. So do it now. Do it now, today. Anyway, I'm Charles Bodensten. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to the videos. I come out with a new video every single weekday. And I will see you guys tomorrow which is Thursday. Talk to you guys soon.